Having returned from Portugal, Steve has plenty of things to be getting on with in England. One thing that he wasn't expecting was the demise of his trusty old smart car. Sadly, it had to be replaced, but what could he afford? Perhaps a Morris Minor. Cheap to run, reliable and no road fund tax, like the smart car. But in the end, a little Citroën C1, £20 road fund tax and back to petrol, cheaper fuel. Later on, the celebrations were for a more important person's birthday.
There's the birthday girl. Happy birthday, Mumsy. We're a bit tight this year, look. We've got the numbers right though, haven't we?
That's rather posh.
It's not, you're not 59A. I've got the number the right way around, haven't I? Do you want, you carry on with that. Do you want me to blow these out for you? You made your wish. You made your wish. Here's to the next 5. we got to the easy bit. You got 95. There you go, Duck. Let's have a...
Yeah. You're cooking down, look.
Yeah.
Six days later, it was Kaz's turn.
We've got the mixer going. We'll try and get that laid today. We've got to be careful though, because we do rain later on, so I'm going to have to do some of it, cover it, go in and then wait for another window of opportunity, I think. So it's a bit of a scary job today, but that adds to the adventure, doesn't it? I'll be glad to get a bit of it laid, to be honest with you. Let's see how we get on. Quarter to 12. Started this job at 8:30 this morning. Went without my 10 o'clock tea break, which is sacrosanct with me, but you can't leave cement or concrete half finished, so I've had to get that job done. I'm happy with it. The rain stopped. I've got all my tools cleaned out and everything. There's still a fear of some rain coming today, but hopefully, if it doesn't, the sun will come round a bit more and it'll help dry that off quicker. Don't know whether I'm going to bother troweling it down or whatever. I see some people do, but it's only the floor of a shed. And if I'm honest with you, I think I'm going to put some carpet tiles down from the kitchen just to make it a bit smoother on the foot. We'll see. We'll see. We've took a miscalculation on the quantities because that was a full bag, and I never know what's in these, whether it's a full ton or not. But I've done one half of it, but I've only got that much left. And also, with cement, I had a quarter bag of my own, and I've already used that up to get that out of the way in one of my first mixes, but I had 4 bags and I've only got 1.5 bags left, and I've got the same, if not slightly bigger area. Because it's coming up to a bank holiday weekend, I don't think I'm going to be able to get another delivery done. It's going to push it, whether I can get that side finished or not. Or I could cheat and make the top one a lot thinner, because this top one here is 3 inches plus. Some places 4 inches, 3.5, 4 inches under there, but I don't really know whether you need to go that thick with it for the base of the shed. But I think I'll order some more and just have to wait for it to come and finish that other side off. I'll give this side a chance to dry anyway. All of this area is going, so all the soil needs to go. Some of it is bagged up, The rest of it needs digging out. Well, I thought I'd have a catch up here and put out on here for a few days. It's Bank Holiday Monday today. My first slab that I laid a few days ago, it's set, seems to be alright. I've prepped up this second one, but I haven't got the materials coming till Wednesday. Now, I've only got Thursday to play with this, so I'm really hoping I can do it. If everything goes to plan, it should take me about 3.5 hours on my own, mixing it and laying it. But I've got to have a window of opportunity to A, do it, and B, for the rain to stay off. But I've got a tarpaulin to cover it if I have to. I've took all the muck that was down the side here and across the back there, and I've moved my barrels back over, and I've laid a bit more path down there, which is better. It doesn't really matter about this one down here particularly, because obviously the shed's going to move over here, but I do need a gap down the side for maintenance. So that should do the job. Basically now I'm just doing a bit of tidying up. I've got my own little bit of veg garden now, much to the disgruntlement of Kaz. I don't think for some reason she likes the idea of me having a garden of any sort, but I'm going to give it a go. I've got my rhubarb. I see we had some mint in an old plastic bowl, and it looks as though it's gone. So I don't know whether she's thought it was too scruffy, or whether she's trying to destroy my garden or not. I don't know. We've still got all this lot to get rid of. Shame really, because it's I like rockeries, but I can understand where Kaz is coming from. She's not very good climbing up hills. So we'll see how we get on anyway. I'm going to have a cuppa now while the sun's shining, and took long a bit longer. See how far I get on with it. The next delivery of ballast, but it's starting to rain, so I'm not going to be mixed any today. I've got one more chance tomorrow, and then that's it. If we don't have decent weather tomorrow, it won't get done. And it's down. Chance of rain in the next hour. Then after that it drops down to nearly 0. So I'm going to take a gamble, because it is now 3:30 and it's going to take me about 3 hours at least, 3.5 to 4 hours to get this laid. So I'm going to have to start pretty soon. So I'm going to have the water and away we go. 4 o'clock, the rain's holding off. I'm mixing it nice and wet. Just dumping it so that it will then find its own level. It'll make tamping down a lot easier for me. I don't want to be out here much longer if I can help it. That might have been a mistake. Kaz called me in for my tea. So I've left this. But we ain't got far to go. Hopefully I'll get it done. The wind's picked up, so that'll help dry it. Well, I've got there. It's 2 minutes to 7 at night. The rain stayed off, but it's, I don't know whether that's the evening coming in or whether it's going to storm again. I'm going to have to cover up, I think. Although I don't think there's supposed to be any percentage of rain is pretty low till about 1 o'clock in the morning. And I'm not get up at 1 o'clock in the morning to cover it, so I'm going to cover it now. And I'm really chuffed with that. That's got that job done before I go to Portugal. That was the bit I was aiming for, to get it done so that it can harden off for the next 2.5 weeks. Then I can get the shed moved. Okay.
Let's look
Well,
indoors.
I've got Andrew here now doing some electric, so he's putting the LEDs under the cabinets. I shan't get in his way, but we'll no doubt show you when he's got further on with it. And those of you who've been watching my YouTube channel know that before I went to Portugal, I laid a slab down there, and it's said, since I've come back from Portugal, I've moved shed number 2 from here to here, which releases the ground area for our future planning. Conservatory coming out there, and this being patioed or something. We still have people coming for soil, the food bags at a time. It's still well advertised locally. Today's mission, amongst other things, is to try and get this yew tree out, which is a shame, but it's got to come out because it wasn't planted in the ground. It's planted in the rockery, and all that's got to go. So it is a shame, but we'll see how we get on with it. Back in our home project again, back in England. We're a big gardening job on. With the rockery going, sadly, some of these have got to go. Digging the roots out as best I can, and he decided he'd had enough. So he decided to fall over. It's a shame really, because it's a lovely tree, but long term it's no good.
And back in the
The
kitchen.
English projects continue, even though the Portuguese ones have stopped for the time being. We had a bit of an issue here with the pipe work, but we've got that solved, thankfully. The kitchen now is 99% sorted. Just got to put some skirting boards down around there and there. Sort a bit out under the door and behind this door, but the rest of it's sorted. Oh, and we've decided now that we're going hole in the wall to vent outside, but we can't do that until a nephew's coming to do that for us, but he ain't got the right tool at the moment. He's lent it out or lost it, so you can't do it until he finds that, but it's not a panic job. But Kaz is insistent on moving on to the next project, which is the lounge or the living room. Andy's been and put some new wiring in and a different light in here. It's the one that we had in Butterwick, but we've moved. Kaz likes that, so we've moved it. And he's rewired the switch, but he's left the old switch on for the time being. We'll replace the switch when we do the decorating. So yesterday and today we've been mucking out and covering up. Not 100% sure with the wiring, but we've had a bit of a dodgy thing going on there because wires normally go straight up or across, but on this occasion that's gone across there. The arm, the capping has gone diagonally across and up, and the reason for that is, I don't know whether you can see it or not, there's a slight crack across there and down there. That is where there was a window originally, and so obviously any electric wires couldn't go directly upwards. It had to skirt around the window. So that's why that is, but I don't like that. I'm out seeking advice from Andy, but I intend to go horizontally across and then vertically up to make it so we know they're only going across and up, not diagonal. That's potentially dangerous for people if they didn't know. And on this side, again, I'm doing some channeling out. I thought my channeling days had gone, but they're not. We had a horrible situation with the electrics for the fire. It's an electric fire, and it's a tight fit in this corner. So we've decided, rather than messing about too much with it, we're going to have a socket, a switch socket on the wall there, where I've marked that little square. Then the feed to it's going to come across to the double socket. Now these sockets have come in from the outside, sort of piggybacked on the back of another one, which is not very nice wiring at all. So we're going to channel that out take it up into the loft space and wire it in properly behind some other, I always get this wrong, capping material, you know what I mean. That just protects it. So that's my mucky job for today, I think. I'm hoping we can, the way Andy was talking, we didn't need to do anything with this one. We'll rewire it, but we should be able to get to it. Excuse me. Obviously, there's some trunk in there, or we'll rewire it the way it's come into the room. And then we're just going to get rid of this wire, whatever it is. And then Kaz can start getting rid of this horrible carpet that she doesn't like. She said it's a granny carpet, but there again, she's a granny and I'm a granddad. So I don't know what the problem is. But she's making it into a home, and obviously one room at a time is the way we're going. So we'll see how we progress later.
Next day we find Steve in the garden again.
Was a dead bush, but you wouldn't have thought it was dead. The fight it gave me. It's a big old boy, isn't he? But got him dug out. Now trying to put that back as if it wasn't there. And the challenge for another day is that one there. So we'll do something with that. I've rescued this little one. There's a lot of dead on it, but there's some bits that were still okay. So I've left them there, and it's grown all right. I don't know whether Kaz wants to keep it or not, but we might as well enjoy it while it's still here. Right, getting back to this bad boy. Get him tidied up.
Another update on the lounge.
Chiselling. If it's not in Portugal, it's in England. All seem to be chiselling walls, but the right hand side is going to be a switch for the electric fire. It was on a plug, but we're going to do it on a switch. The right hand side, that's the right hand side, sorry. The left hand side is just going to be one socket, and then we've got two more sockets. So I've chiseled that out. Now I've got to fill that back in and make it good. Similar scenario over this side. Andy the electrician has dropped the wires into that one, and then we've got to put some across to that one. And then in this corner, the wires are already in and fitted, so there's no issues there. So just got to do a little bit of remedial work on the walls. Then Kaz can crack on and get this room decorated, because she's a bit fed up with the carpet, a bit fed up with the decor, and she wants two more comfortable chairs, because we've been sitting on the conservatory furniture since December. We're now in May, so we're going to try and move on with this room now that we've got the kitchen done. Kitchen's completed. We're now doing the living room.
Sticky glue on the floor.
They've got on Marley tiles. They leave the glue behind, 60 years on, but it's still sticky. So we end up having to put talcum powder down to stop it sticking. The carpet fitter's coming soon, so when that's done, we can put the gear back in. That'll be number 2 room done. But downsizing is good, apart from the fact that you struggle them. All the living room furniture at the moment is in here. This is the next room to do. I've chased in some electrics for in there. And on this side here, there was a single plug on the bottom there, but I've raised it up to the most acceptable height. As we get older, we don't have to be bending down particularly. And on that far wall, we have at the bottom there a twin socket which is coming out, and then we're going to have a boxed in electrics across the wall and into the back of the unit, because the unit covers all of that back wall, the bed and the side units. and above, and we've had some damp down the bottom here in that corner, which we have put mould. Well, I say damp, it isn't actually, it's mould, and I think it's because the air was trapped behind the wardrobe units. And that's an outside wall. This is an inside wall. We've had no issues here, but a similar scenario, we've got units that a dressing table unit will cut wardrobes at the side that cover the whole of the walls. So that wall and this wall here were totally covered from just past the where the socket is now. It's not actually, there will be a gap of about 8 to 10 inches. That's why we've put the socket there. We can get to it, whereas before the socket was pinned to the wall along this bottom here, down the wall here. So we took that off because there's no point in having sockets that you can't get to. That's the principle. I've took the, don't want you to pick up on it, right? Yeah, I've took, can you see that there? That's where the light was. And then the pull cord originally was there, and the bed, presumably before we came here, was facing that way. But since we've been here, the bed has been on that wall, so that was redundant. There's 2 pull cords on the bed lights and in the units for reading, etc. So it didn't really matter. So we took that out. In fact, to be honest with you, they're up in the loft space. I've took them out and reconnected them up there because it just saves a job later. It allowed me to get on with the ceiling, decorating the ceiling as well, and the coving, because that'll be one of the next jobs we do once we've got the builder out of the way, the carpet fitter out of the way, and got all this stuff put back in the living room. These conservatory furniture are actually going in the summer house at some point, but they're the only furniture we've got at the moment. We've ordered some new for the living room, but it's not coming till September. It's now the 1st of June, so we've got to live with them for a bit longer. They're all right. We'll get by with them. So there we are. We're up to date at the moment with it. Kaz is now sweeping the worst of this talcum powder up, so the floor won't be as sticky. I don't think it'll matter once the grippers are down and the underlay. It'll cover it all up. And that Marley tile glue doesn't smell particularly sweet. Now we've got, it smells of rubber, but the talcum powder's sweetened up a bit anyway, but it'll all get hidden hopefully. It'll smell of new carpet, won't it? Which is a nicer smell. So there we have it. We'll take another picture when we've got it down and see what it looks like. 3 ongoing projects still out here. Get rid of the rockery. Dig all the muck out, break it out, or bag it preferably, but how blacky there, pinching. There's some more here that I'm sorting out. Now that has come from over here. This is the second project. This area here is going to be, got to dig all that out, which is a shame, but we have rescued some of the plants. It's fairly overgrown. All this area's got to go because at some point in the future, hopefully, we'll extend the conservatory outwards, and then there'll be a patio area here. And Cass wants a swirly washing line, a twirly one rather than the line like that, which I've mentioned before. My little bit of garden's coming on. First year I've attempted to grow anything ever. Got some runner beans there. Along there I've got some shallots, and occasionally you'll see green things shooting up here. Those are corn of the cob. And the original garden rhubarb is doing well. We've had one feed out of it already. I'm just wondering, I think it's time to chop some more down actually. Yeah, it's looking good. The compost bin is full, but it's doesn't look a lot of action yet. I only started it a couple of months ago, so I've looked at the end of the year. Yeah, and that's where we are at the moment. It's a laborious old job, but we just have to take time and get there eventually. And a little later, the carpet is laid. Kaz wanted me to take a picture of it when she's tidied it up, but I know what'll happen. As soon as we've got it tidied up, we'll start bringing all the furniture in, then we'll have to get a proper picture of it. So there we are. Already feels less echoey and cleaner.
This is the end of Steve and Kaz's bungalow update. If you found it interesting, please like and subscribe for the next episode.